First of all, I just want to honor Senior Grandmaster Bandalan. We got his poster here, so please sign the poster. 57, he went to Honolulu Tech School. It is now called Honolulu Community College in Honolulu. He became a welder, and in 1968, he moved to San Jose, California. He continued his training from Cha Tree Temple. And he got his black belt from Sam Brown. In 75, Professor Tiwana, this goes really back, presented him the chief instructor and head of San Jose chapter Cha Tree. And while he was doing demos in Kempo, I think a little after that, old boy was starting to train with him in the 80s. Yeah, he has trained in the 80s. He witnessed Eskrima by Master Angel Caballes. And way back we did a seminar with Angel Caballes' son here, Bandalan Vincent Caballes. Yeah. He loved Eskrima so much that he wrote to Philippines. And at that time, Dione, the nephew of Kakoy, acknowledged that letter and sent Kakoy to California, where he lived with Bandalan for 18 years. And that's where many of us, we got the modified system from Kakoy. Yeah. And while doing a demo in I think in Philippines, I remember Bandalan was saying to his sparring partner, "I hit hard, you know." So the guy said, yeah. He hit the guy so hard in a demo, the guy knocked out. It was so funny. From that time on, everybody was knocking on Bandalan's door. "Hey, can I train Kempo? Can I train Kempo with you?" So his roots, as a Kempo, he's not a big man, He's so small, but if you look at his knuckles, so big. And when he hits you hard. In one demo, he wanted to throw me, and I pulled rank on this other guy, and I said, "No, you throw him." He throws me enough here in Honolulu. Yeah. So still hungry for more knowledge of Eskrima, he wrote to the Philippines, Dione, and Kakoy came down. 1 month later, Dione went to San Jose and he trained with Bandalan. And from then on, I don't know if you know, but he was also one of the first founders of WCAF, narrow film. We've been in, we've done some videos. He was featured in some black belt magazine. And later on, he was ranked the first Hawaii-born ranked Grandmaster by Dose Parts, in Hawaii. At that time, it was only like 40 countries, even less. Every World Championship would go to the Philippines every other year. And now WCAF is at least 80 to over 100 countries, if I'm not mistaken. So Bandalan really did a lot for us. There's many more accomplishments I want to say, but I'm going to leave this time for some of you to share. But what I can say, I'm just so grateful that it was an honor for me in his 20th anniversary of Bandalan School, was in California. He allowed me to open up the Bandalan School here in Hawaii in 2001. So with that in mind, we have a lot of students, Bandalan Parts, Hawaii. So with that, if any of you want to share a little bit about Grandmaster.
If you guys haven't met me before, my name is Grandmaster Old Boy. I've been with GM, senior GM, probably late 80s. I was about, I don't know, early 20s, late teens back then. We were dating. So one of the things that GM always instilled is to keep FMA and the culture of the Philippine martial arts, you know, alive by passing it on to the younger generation. You know, my son Jordan, to these young guys here. You know, he always said, you know, if anything, oh boy, teach the younger kids to, you know, not only just to keep his legend or to his legacy, you know, going, but just to, as a proud Filipino, he said, you know, I want to, you know, tell all my grandmasters to just share knowledge and just keep Filipino martial arts alive. You know, a lot of this training too was just having coffee, believe it or not, and just talking. You know, telling history. You know, GM's a big history buff. He could sit there and talk your ears out.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, oh, okay, you know, repeat. But that's how he was, you know. But then when it came to training, he was a tough guy. When he was younger, when we still called him Chief at the time, I mean, he'd throw you, he'd hit you, you know. I wasn't under his Kajikembo part because I was under a different instructor, Uncle Tony Ramos, back in the day. And so he would ask me, hey, can you come an hour early to spar with my guys? And in return, he was going to teach me a screamer. So that was our trade-off. You know, I said, oh, free lesson? Sure, you know, I'll trade off like that. But, so GM, he was like a father to me. I mean, you know, he treated me with respect. If anything, he taught me to be humble. And just, you know, the old Patrick M was saying, train strong to remain strong. He always said that too. So, we're gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. And thank you for switching the dates so I can attend this. Thank you very much. I know it was a last minute thing. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I started training in like 2008. So I was about 8 years old. And I think within maybe the first year, I remember we were all talking and they're saying that at the time, Grandmaster Bandalan, they're saying that he was gonna come down, and then I was like, oh okay. And then like, then he came in and he was just, I don't know, he just had this aura about him. You know that he's, you know, he's serious. He's somebody very special. And I think, like you said, he's a history buff, and he came and he was talking to us about the Moros, and none of us knew who they were. And then right after that class, I went home and I looked them up and I searched out who they are and stuff. And then the next time I saw him, I was probably kind of small, so I probably had to pull on his jacket. Oh, and I told him like, oh, the Moros are warriors of Islam and stuff like that, because I just really wanted to. I don't know, I really wanted to impress him or something. And he was, I don't know, at times he could be, I found him a little intimidating because I think one of the first times I met him, we were having class and Ray showed up maybe like a little bit late. And he told Ray to do push-ups. And halfway through the push-ups, he'd kick him right in the stomach halfway through, and I was like, oh, and I never showed up to class late again. Never. So, but while being very serious, intimidating, he was also very warm and somebody that was very good to get to know. And I just like, I'm amazed that he was able to bring all of us here together in his own way. So I'm gonna miss him a lot.
Since I was the one that got kicked. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to put this on myself. Oh, you want to do it? Okay. So, this chair. Yeah, I remember that really well too. So, but I give credit to GM Bandalan because honestly, I did not have an appreciation of Filipino culture or Filipino martial arts. I didn't know about Filipino martial arts, and I did very little about Filipino culture. And I remember GM Robert inviting me to a demo, well, not a demo, a seminar. And I saw GM Robert spinning his stick so fast, and then I saw Grandmaster Bandalan throwing people with sticks in hand. And mind you, my background was judo, jiu-jitsu, and I was like, cool, you can throw people with sticks in hand? That is so cool. So I got into it, and through Grandmaster Bandalan, I really developed an appreciation of Filipino culture. I did not, I mean, I'm sad to say that I did not learn that earlier, so I wanted to also share that with the younger generations, because I think that's one part I missed, and I'm glad. I thank SGM for sharing that with us, with me, and sharing that with all of us, and now that I can share with others too. So,
Hi, I'm Professor Jay Raponti on the Spiders. See, the first time I met Grandmaster Bandalan was at, I wasn't training yet, but I sang at the funeral for, it was in Waikiki. Yeah, I was at the house. Yeah, anyway, I got introduced to Eskrima through Robert. I used to golf with Robert every weekend, and he'd always be with the umbrella going like this. And he had a Dose Party sticker on the truck, and I said, what is that? But I went to a tournament that we used to hold, and I saw the power and the grace of Eskrima, and I really got intrigued, so I started training. But my time with Grandmaster Bandalan, I did spend a lot of time with him outside of class, because anytime he would come here, we'd take him out. And in the Philippines, I don't know how many tournaments he went, wake-up tournaments, we always were together. You know, he would teach us about Eskrima and just kind of be with him. And he was stern, and he was very honorable but humble, and he was very generous. 2016, he brought us to his ranch, and we had a great dinner, and it was awesome. I had some relatives come, so he was a really small in stature but great in heart and his reach. We went to a tournament in Maui once, and a lot of people came out just because of his name. You know, we didn't advertise a lot, but they knew he was coming, and all these old practitioners came in because they knew of him. So I appreciate having to realize his dream with Robert and anybody else who helped put the tournament together. It took us 2 years to put the Wake Up tournament together, meeting every week almost, but it was an honor to bring it, because that was his dream, right? To have the Wake Up tournament in Hawaii. And you were there, and a lot of us were there too. So it was an honor to know.
I'm Chief Instructor John Saludes. Talk about Grandmaster hitting really hard. I haven't been hit by anybody yet that could hit as hard as he did. So the first time I met him, we were actually training in Manoa, I think. And then, we just come around, walking out, his shirt was always open. It's, small guy, but yeah, very intimidating. But he goes, okay, everybody, okay, can you take a hit? I'm like, okay. And he just hit me like through the back, and you could just feel it through your body. And I'm like, oh, that's what they mean about the whole, chi going through everything. I'm like, wow. So it was the first time I've ever felt that from anyone. And then since then on, it's just the knowledge and the history, like how everybody says, like he keeps saying, like he just keeps drilling you. And if you've ever been to the Philippines with him or anything like that, it was constant. Like no matter where we sat, it was like over and over. So like it just keeps playing over and over in my head. Like oh, when somebody talks about the Moors, oh yeah, I know that too. I'm like, how do I know that? Because he just kept drilling it over and over with us. It was just so much knowledge and everything coming from him. But I have to say that it was truly an honor to be under him, under GM Robert. Also, it's just because he just, everybody says, yeah, small in stature, but man, his reach for anybody. Like we were at a tournament in 2012 in, what is that, Sacramento? Oh. Sacramento, yeah. And we were wearing our Bandalan, like, our shirts and stuff. And then there was another tournament going on, but it was all like karate, kajikembo, and everybody else like, oh, Bandalan. But like everywhere we walked, they're like, oh, Bandalan. I'm like, how does everybody know this guy? It's like, so then just getting to know him more, it was like, wow, this guy's really cool. So it was just, I would say it's just a true honor, a true honor for being under here.
Hi, my name is Master Jideo. I met him in the basic last year in Hawaii. I was with training with JM Robert. The first thing when I talked to him, he pulled me over like, hey, you fast, you fight fast, you train fast. So from now on, everywhere I go, you go with me. So I go to Vegas, Orlando, Florida, California, a couple times in the Philippines, and with JM Robert training. So you're gonna be world champion. Yes, indeed. I become 4 to 5 world champion because of both of them. JM trained me. So I'm so humble indeed. I'm so happy that I met him and trained with him. Thank you.
Robert had gone to the Philippines before I ever met Bandalan. And then we were going to do a trip to California, up to the Bay Area. We were going to a church convention and stuff. And then I researched online, you know, the Filipino martial art. And so we connected with Bandalan and went to his ranch. And all I remember is he had that big pig. Remember he had a pig?
Oh, yeah.
A pig for a pet.
Remember the pig?
A pig for a pet. And he had that pig for quite a while, yeah. And I just remember Bandalan talking stories, and he just had so many stories in his back pocket, just so many experiences he had. One thing I know is he's really helped Robert to have the character of respect, which I think he's passed on to you guys. And Robert respects Bandalan so much that every single time Bandalan would come to Hawaii, Robert would have to go to the bakery first and get him long johns. That was Bandalan's favorite thing. So that's what I remember of Bandalan.
One time he came to Hawaii and I said, GM. He go, yeah. I got 4 guys waiting for you. 4 big guys. You know how he make his eye go like this, yeah? And so he said, who's that? He said, 4 big guys. He said, what's their name? Long John. He laughed. I gave him the Long John. It was that was so funny.
Gotta add, Suai texted and said, you know, she found that it was an honor and a blessing to train under Grandmaster Bandalan. So
Awesome.
she's right now in Arizona, but yeah.
We have flowers. Go ahead.
At this time, why don't we have a full salutation? We'll line up and we'll have a full salutation and a minute of silence as we salute the Grandmaster.
There often comes a time when we must say goodbye and hope that someday we will meet again. Throughout the years we've become friends, and the bond will never end. have come